Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And in today's video, I wanted to take some time out to inform you guys on what's going on at Sprint. According to some sources, Sprint right now is in a critical situation. And this video is probably going to be a bit longer, so I apologize for that. And I want to know your guys' opinions and thoughts on it. So this morning, Sprint CFO spoke at an investors conference, and he openly let everyone know that Verizon's unlimited plan is grabbing customers from Sprint. So this quarter, their churn is going to go up, and I think we're going to start seeing that trend throughout the year because the competition is getting much, much better, and better deals are coming out on better networks. So he was speaking, and he was still trying to say that HPUE is going to cause Sprint to lower the capex, and it's going to perform very well on its network. And I agree. Don't get me wrong. If they can extend coverage to band 25, I'm all for it. But they still need to invest money. Towers have to go up. They need to upgrade additional towers to band 41. More small cells. You can't do that in the wireless industry by just spending $300 million a quarter. Verizon spends $15 billion in an entire year. If my math is correctly, that means Verizon can spend $300 million per state. So in each state, Texas, Florida, they can spend $300 million in that state. And that means all of the cities and markets should have enough funding for whatever they plan on doing. So Sprint is definitely in a critical situation right now. Their stock took a big hit after this announcement. Also, Radio Shack is getting ready to file Chapter 11 again. This will probably be the end of Radio Shack. So that was actually, I thought it would be a good thing for Sprint. But this investment is going to backfire on Marcelo. I originally thought that once Radio Shack moved out, Sprint could take over the whole retail space. But according to some sources, the retail space is too big and the rent would be too high. So Sprint is actually pulling out of Radio Shack stores. So that means Sprint is going to lose retail footing, which I would say they're probably going to want to, increase that again. But that means they would have to pay for their own stores, which up front is probably going to be pretty expensive, getting the retail space, putting the stuff in. Now, I don't have any exact numbers, but that's what's being said, that Sprint is pulling out of those Radio Shack stores that they are half and half in. I've seen the rest of the Radio Shack stores here in my market, everything closeout sale, 80% off. So for those few stores, that is pretty much it. Sprint is already out of those stores. I don't see any more advertising on the windows. So Sprint is already out of these stores and many, many other stores around the country. So this is going to take a big negative hit on the stock. It's already dropped by 5%. And it looks like this trend will continue going forward throughout the year. And it's not looking too good for Sprint. So a merger is much more likely, and probably the only thing that could save Sprint at this moment. I personally also think Sprint is scared to increase the capex or to bring on more debt because it would also take an additional hit on the stock. But Sprint stock, honestly, at this point is worthless, and it's overvalued as it is. So once the stock brings down to, let's say, back to the $5 or $4 mark, then I think a company like Comcast or maybe even SoftBank will buy the additional 20% to own the company outright. So there's a lot of scenarios that are going around, a lot of speculations, nothing official as of yet. But I think Comcast, if they want to make their, impression on the wireless industry, I think picking up Sprint would be a good idea on their end, especially with the amount of spectrum that Sprint has. And then Comcast has the amount of money that Sprint needs to really get the network going. They still lack a lot of network coverage. They still lack a lot of Band 41 in cities where they have Band 41 launched. All of that takes money. And if Sprint wants to succeed being a standalone company, I think they have to pull out more loans and more debt and put it into the network. In the long term, it will help them out. But as of now, since the competition is where it's at and it's going to get even more competitive, can you imagine in the holiday season this year? I mean, these carriers are going to go crazy. They're already offering you free phones. I mean, it's getting crazy, and we're just in the beginning of the year. This is usually a slow quarter. Once we get into the holiday quarters like Q3, Q4, these carriers are going to have boxing matches, 12 rounds. It's going to get really crazy, and I don't think Sprint can compete, especially if pricing is as reasonable as it is now. Yes, Sprint might be the best value, but a Verizon Unlimited plan is very reasonable with a much better network. So if I'm a consumer and I say, you know what, I'm going to spend $50 more being on Verizon, screw it, I'm going to pay it. I'm getting a much better network, and I won't have to worry about anything because Verizon's investing enough. With Sprint, it's like, okay, I'm on the network. I'm still waiting for approval of Band 26. I'm still waiting for small cells. I'm still waiting for Band 41. I'm still waiting for a network expansion. And that right there, for an additional $50, I'll eat that cost. And this is why Sprint, I think, is going to lose a lot of customers, across the board. I think even their prepaid is going to take another hit again. Cricket is getting ready to be really competitive. Metro PCS already is. And also Verizon's Verizon's prepaid is pretty solid, $55 at 5 gigabytes. And I think it's $70 for 10. That's very competitive. And then also, I think Cricket is now offering 5 free phones. I mean, they're not anything flagship devices, but there's some Galaxy AMP2s, and there are 5 of them for free to hop on their network. So Sprint is going to be in a critical situation going forward. I don't think right now, I mean, what else can they offer? They already bought, a part of Tidal. I think that's what it's called, the music service. That really hasn't done anything big as of yet. As I reported yesterday, they're trying out the Sling services, the Sling TV from Dish Network for free. That's another service that I'm sure they have to pay for it somehow, even though it might be free to us. They have to pay for that somehow. I mean, what else can they possibly offer? I mean, Netflix, they already tried Amazon Prime. I don't know at this point what else they can do. They're already giving you service at $22.50 a line. I mean, the only thing left for them to do is to give the service away for free. So now it's going to be really, really, really interesting to see what happens. I think official talks are going to start as of April, which is next month. Right now, everything is just speculation. A lot of analysts are narrowing it down to just Comcast and T-Mobile. I don't think T-Mobile will make a move unless Sprint's stock drops, because right now it's overvalued. So SoftBank would probably ask for something much too high for Deutsche Telekom to even consider. So it's definitely going to get really, really tricky and interesting to see. And I want to know your thoughts and opinions. Is this it for Sprint? Will we lose the Sprint brand as we know it? Will it be SoftBank USA? Even though I think if Comcast merges with Sprint or buys Sprint altogether, I think they might even change the name because the brand is dying out. It's, they did good for these past few quarters because they were one of the carriers to offer unlimited and at a great price. But now that all of the carriers are offering unlimited and at reasonable cost, it's really hard to justify for Sprint to still stay in the game. But definitely let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I would like to hear from you guys and your opinions. Like, share, subscribe. Please give these videos a thumbs up. It keeps me motivated, keeps me going. This is Tyrone with Tech Life, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.